Ugh.
Hi, Betsy. I'm here to work on our project.
How's our project going?
I'll be honest with you, Haley, I am so stuck. Upton Sinclair seems like such a cool guy, but I don't know how to write a report on how he influenced America.
Did you do the passage analysis yet?
Yeah, I've been looking at this book, Oil. It exposes the corruption during the early 1900s, and I found this really cool passage that I liked.
Let me hear it.
Meantime, the workmen were toiling like mad to stop the flow of the well. They staggered here and there, half blinded by the black spray, and with no place to brace themselves, nothing they could hold on to because everything was greased, steaming with grease. You walked into the darkness, groping about, but with nothing but the roar of the monster, his blows upon your body, his spitting in your face to tell you where he was. That's just a portion of it, but I really liked how he used imagery to express what he was thinking.
Yeah, me too.
And his writing style, I really appreciated how it was third-person narrative, but in the beginning of the book, he did second person, but, you know, he's just such a cool guy, he was really mixing it up.
Right, so when did this take place?
This happened during the early 1900s in Southern California, actually.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So, like, what is it even saying? I was kind of confused.
Well, the main character in the book is James Arnold Ross Jr., but his nickname was Bunny. And he was the son of an oil tycoon, and so throughout the book you could see Bunny sympathized with oil field workers and socialists, and it provoked arguments with his father throughout the story. But that's only the literal meaning. What the book is actually saying is Upton Sinclair, he wanted to contrast the scorched earth, laissez-faire capitalism of America with his so-called ideal of socialism, because the guy was a socialist, Haley.
Oh, that makes sense now.
Yeah, it was a social and political satire skewering the human foibles of all its characters. And it was written to kind of mirror Harding's administration's the Teapot Dome scandal, so he kind of wanted to expose corruption in America.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Upton's a great guy.
Yeah, he's cool, but I just don't know how he influenced America. Haley, how are we going to research how Upton Sinclair was an influential American author? I'm so confused.
I know! How about we go back in time to the 1900s and research it for ourselves?
Oh my god, that's a totally realistic and plausible idea!
But Betsy, where are we going to get a time machine?
Oh, I know! We have one in the garage! Follow me! There it is!
Okay.
1738. I'm like, hey, what's up, hello? Since your pretty ass, soon as you came in the door.
Back to the early 1900s!
We're going on a trip in our favorite time machine, zooming through time with Upton Sinclair.
1 century earlier.
Whoa, where are we? It looks like we're in Chicago during the early 1900s.
I think you're right.
And it smells like we're near a meatpacking factory. Let's go check it out.
In love with the money, I ain't never letting go. And like it hard with my baby.
My name's Upton Sinclair. I'm new here. What are the conditions like?
It's just awful. There's filth everywhere. There's rats crawling across the floor. My buddy died yesterday from some kind of disease. Yeah, it's awful. I think I might die pretty soon. Who knows?
Yeah, what happened to your hand?
I just rotted off from disease. Fifth time this week.
That's gotta be difficult. How long are your hours?
I think I work 27 hours a day.
Okay. Well, that must be difficult. Do you see your family often?
Oh shoot. Forgot I had a family.
Hey, Upton! I'm Betsy.
And I'm Haley.
And we're from the future. So what are you doing at this meatpacking factory?
I'm digging up dirt on the meat industry. It's very corrupt and dangerous.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, think about writing a book. I'm gonna call it The Jungle.
Excellent.
I think I'm gonna write my book now.
We should leave him to his work.
Okay, good luck, Upton.
We'll see you later.
Thanks, man. Let a man so much as scrape his finger pushing a truck in the pickle rooms, and he might have a sore that would put him out of the world. All the joints in his finger might be eaten by the acid, one by one. Of the butchers and floresmen, the beef boners and trimmers, and all those who used knives, you could scarcely find a person who had the use of his thumb. Time and time again, the base of it had been slashed, till it a mere lump of flesh against which the man pressed the knife to hold it. The hands of these men would be crisscrossed with cuts, until you could no longer pretend to count them or to trace them. They would have no nails. They had worn them off pulling hides. Their knuckles were so swollen that their fingers spread out like a fan. There were men who worked in the cooking rooms, in the midst of steam and sickening odors, by artificial light. In these rooms, the germs of tuberculosis might live for 2 years, but the supply was renewed every hour.
I wonder when Upton's gonna finish his book. We need to finish our report soon.
I know, I hope it's soon.
Guys, I finished my book!
Awesome, Upton!
Let me just read you the introduction that explains every single part of it. I have spent 7 weeks in the city's meatpacking plants, learning every detail about the work itself, the home lives of workers, and the structure of the business. I wrote The Jungle from this research. Publishers keep telling me that my novel is too shocking, but I'm going to continue to try and bring my novel into the mainstream. The setting of The Jungle is Packingtown, the meatpacking center of Chicago in the early 1900s. I incorporated a lot of themes into this novel, like the immigrant experience, the hollowness of the American dream, and socialism as a cure for the evils of capitalism. In terms of the immigrant experience, the family that I wrote about is used to represent the struggle of the working class under capitalism. It's a group of Lithuanian immigrants. The novel is used to explore the plight of immigrants in America. As a socialist, I am using my book to show how socialism can be the cure for the economic turmoil our country is experiencing. There are also several motifs in my novel. For example, corruption. The family I read about finds themselves surrounded increasingly with signs of immorality and corruption. Laws that are not enforced, politicians out for their own gain, salesmen who lie about their wages, a whole community of people trying desperately to get ahead by taking advantage of one another. The Jungle is full of symbols, including the title itself. The title symbolizes the competitive nature of capitalism. The world of Packingtown is like a Darwinian jungle, in which the strong prey on the weak, and all the lives of living things are engaged in a brutal, immoral fight for survival. The title of the novel draws attention specifically to the doctrine of social Darwinism, an idea used by the 19th century thinkers to justify the abuses of wealthy capitalists. In the novel, Sinclair is literally showing that what life inside a meatpacking factory is like. For example, how dirty it is and the poor health state of the workers. The philosophical meaning is that American industry is corrupt and that socialism is the key to a better American economy.
Wow, that was really good, Upton. Good job. That was excellent. Haley, I just remembered. We forgot to ask Upton about his life and what his childhood was like. We have to go back in time to his deathbed and get more information. Let's go.
We're going on a trip in our favorite time machine, zooming through time with Upton Sinclair.
Hey, Upton, remember us?
Yeah, you guys were in my meatpacking factory.
Yeah, we forgot to ask you questions about your life for our project, so we came back.
Oh, let me tell you everything about my life from my book, The Jungle.
Ooh. I'll just take notes.
I was born on September 20th, 1878. As a child, I was immediately exposed to the very different aspects of society. My father was an alcoholic. However, I spent most of my time with my wealthy grandparents. Being brought up poor and watching my rich grandparents gave me insight into the differences between how the rich and poor lived during this time. Being so exposed to two completely opposite lifestyles influenced my books greatly. I loved reading and writing as a child and spent most of my time doing it. I moved to New York in 1888 and attended City College of New York at age 14.
Whoa, that's crazy!
I know. I then continued to hit my studies at Columbia University. After I finished the education period in my life, I worked for a company where I wrote adventure stories. This is how I supported myself. My writings in the magazine gave me publicity, which inspired a company to ask me to write exposés in disguise. I accepted this offer and worked undercover in Chicago's meatpacking industry to gain knowledge from my well-known novel, The Jungle.
The Jungle, The Jungle.
I then wrote 100 other novels and exposed corporate industries throughout the nation. I helped bring attention to minority groups and inspired social reform in movements throughout the country. I was involved in the Socialist Party. I am seen as a muckraker and considered myself a major socialist. I organized the American Civil Liberties Union. I then ran for U.S. Congress and governor for California multiple times. However, I never won.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That sucks.
Well, thanks, Upton. It was nice seeing you again. Please don't die soon. Let's get one last high five for the road.
Now that we have all our information, let's go back to 2015 and show our report to Miss C.
Yeah, let's do it!
Audio production.
Being a socialist and growing up with traditional values, Upton Sinclair loved what the United States stood for. But when he saw capitalism emerge and the economy shifting, he became concerned. So he focused his attention on attacking the capitalistic government. When scandals emerged in the United States, he responded to them through his writing. His most famous novel, The Jungle, exposed the meatpacking factory conditions and how many other problems within the industry. Right after his novel was published, he heard from Teddy Roosevelt that he was going to be making changes in the government because Teddy really liked his novel.
When a president is moved by someone's work so much that they pass new legislations, it showed Upton how much one novel can impact society. Soon Roosevelt passed the Food and Drug Act as well as the Meat Inspection Act, which led to the creation of the FDA to protect citizens. This was his favorite accomplishment, one in which many social reform movements began to emerge and people expressed their beliefs about the government. Upton had such a long-lasting impact on America because he inspired social movements to emerge as well as being the cause of safer policies on our country. His writing did it all.
In love with the money, I ain't never